Hi, my name is Joshua. I'm with Blue Phoenix Creative, and I was on Google and I put in construction companies in Randolph, Mass, and you came up in position 7, which is page 1. Good job on that. Um, and then I went to the page here, which is the Randolph page, and then I went to your homepage. So I want to give you a free bit of advice on like how to make your website more effective, and to do that, I'm going to mostly talk about the homepage or refer to aspects of the homepage. But a lot of this could also be useful for your landing pages, especially when I say landing pages, I mean like where people are coming from Google, right? So I'm going to shift that over there. All right. So when it comes to your homepage, I want to kind of look at another website as well to give you kind of a comparison and what I feel might be a really good set of changes that you can make. So I'm going to start with that, and then we'll come back to your website. Okay, so this is RWC. They're in Norwood, I think, and yes, and so I found this a couple days ago. And when you click onto this website, right, it's extremely visual and interesting, right, because of the background. You have the glass cabinetry, and you have the contrasting backsplash and the marble countertops and all that. And so when have a user that clicks in here, like they're instantly going to see that it communicates very good work right from the get go. And then it also does something to help them to stay, right? Because they instantly have a sense of like, okay, this might be what I'm looking for. Um, but at very least, it's interesting, and people will take a second to stop. It breaks their pattern of like, they come onto the website and they're like, okay, is this what I want? And so instead of like looking around for like the detail, it's like they're stopping for a second to just slow down, and that makes them more comfortable just when they do that. So, so it's a really good strategy. And then if you look at this element up here, it's kind of not the usual square shape, so it's triangle and diagonal, and so the user will likely look here first because it's the biggest aspect of the page and it's visually intriguing, and then their eye will probably come up here. So it's kind of like this is what we're capable of, and this is who we are. And so they've like in 2 or 3 seconds they've communicated those things subtly to the person on the site, and then from there their eye will probably come down here. It says discover an easier path to remarkable results. Now, remarkable results is emphasized in yellow, but it's not really defined, and so it's an open-ended. You can imagine a yellow line going out this way because the user gets to plug in there what their result, what they want, remarkable results with. So discover an easier path to remarkable results on your bathroom redesign. And when the user reads the statement, right, they're already plugging that in. Like they're reading that statement in context to the project they have in mind. So that's already happening subconsciously and naturally. So from there, the user's eye will probably go down here, maybe down here, but then up here to schedule a call and across. And then if they didn't look at the blue part before, then they'll probably look at it after they go up there. Um, and then this, instead of like a paragraph about each thing they do, it's very, very succinct, right? Like this is very customer centered language here. Discover an easier path to remarkable results. It's what they want, it's their end result, right? But this is just like, hey, this is a quick synopsis of what we do: kitchens, bathrooms, additions, interiors, exteriors. And then from there, we scroll down. I'm going to come back to this in a minute because I want to stick with the communication piece for a second because I think that's very, very important. Actually, I know that's very, very important. Discover a partner you can trust and to bring your vision to life. So I want to kind of focus on these two pieces real quick. Um, a lot of websites are like, we do this, 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 that, and the other, and we're so great because this, that, and the other, and that's not what they're doing here, right? They've shown the quality of their work, and then they're more focused on discover a partner you can trust. Like they want to become that trusted partner, that guide who brings them to the result, to bring their vision to life, right? And so that statement tees up the relationship before anybody's ever called and reached out. No one's talked to them yet, and there's already the sense of we want to be your partner. We don't just want to sell you something. So I think that's a really good position for the company to put themselves in. So that I'm going to go through this paragraph real quick because it helps to do helps to reinforce what we just looked at. Okay, it says we understand that choosing the right home professional to build your dream space can be a daunting task. Now, in a sense, like there's a lot of first time home buyers who want to do renovations and and that type of thing, and they've never done this. They've never called a contractor. They don't know what to ask for. They like they're worried about getting uh, the wrong contractor and having a horrible experience and all these and all this trepidation like comes into their sale. That's what they experience in their journey of getting to that result. And so this company, identifies that. They say, we know it can be. We understand that this is, a daunting task potentially. Um, and then they're like, you need the knowledge to make the best decisions for your home, which I think a lot of people know that. But they also emphasize that, they also need to feel secure in their partnership with their contractor. And if you notice, they use the word partnership here, which helps to tie this back to what they already read. Okay, and so they're reinforcing that partnership, the desire to become their trusted partner. So RWC will help you navigate every step of the process to build a space that reflects who you are. So this is kind of answering. So up here they kind of identify that trepidation, that sense of it being a daunting task, and down here they answer. We will help you navigate every step of the process. We will help you have that knowledge and feel secure. Um, to build the space that reflects who you are, and again, tying it back to the customer's end result, because you want to keep them, they're already into their own vision, right? They want their new bathroom, they want their new kitchen, whatever. And you want to keep them focused on that and position yourself next to them so that, and help guide them toward making those right decisions. um, and then down here you can go look at this, but it's kind of a similar, that reinforcement. We listen, we inform, we deliver, and helping to ease that trepidation and all that. And then additionally, they have the testimonials to help with trust. So and then I want to come back up here to this. So that's kind of like the main messaging that I would recommend, on your homepage. But a lot of companies, and it's not just construction, but other industries as well. When someone comes onto their website, it's like they have two polar opposites of options. They can call or message through a form, so they can contact them, or they can leave. And it's contact or leave, contact or leave. And so there's a lot of people who come to your website. I would estimate 30% or more who do not they're not ready to reach out. They're in the process of getting ideas, of kind of testing the waters, and they want to know what's out there and who they think they might want to do their project. And and this company actually is very aware of that. And when I say very aware of that, I can tell that they're very aware of it because it's right underneath their hero. This is called the hero section. It's right at their CTA for Get Inspired with RWC. Is right below that, and it says this free download is designed to stimulate your imagination, help bring your vision to life. So again, they're like, we understand you're maybe not ready to reach out, but this will help you to stimulate your imagination, and then again, tying it back to the end result, bring your vision to life. And so when they click this, they get their email, and if they've paid for ads and they've got the traffic here anyway, they've already paid Google. Right. So now it's a matter of, are they going to get a contact? Are they going to get, the client? And better they get an email at least than nothing. At least they can build their email list, remark to them. Maybe they missed the bathroom project, this year, but next year maybe they get the kitchen, you know, project because they've, kept up with them and sent them promotional stuff or something like that. So, and then this is, RWC remodeling. So remodeling is their thing. And so they also have a case study here for specific to what they do. And I think like with different things, you could be like roofing, siding, windows, decks and porches. You could have case studies and stuff for that as well. And especially if you're doing any advertising at all, you want to make sure that the people are landing on the page that's relevant for their search terms, and then you want to be able to provide relevant data, or information about about what they're looking for essentially. So okay, so when it comes to your site, I feel like there's a lot of vertical space that's used for that detracts from the overall, making that connection, and and then also the your work is on a background that is covered up with like it's darkened, so there's opacity layer over top this that kind of darkens it a little bit, and that they designers do this to help the text stand out. Like I get why they do it, but there's other ways, and if you notice, they put in like a text shadow here, which really helps, makes the text visible, but without detracting from the imaging. And they did fade it a little bit. You'll notice there's like a gradient fade here. Actually, it goes more this way. But yeah, this piece is faded. That way you can see the text a little better. So, but it's still the main part that you want people to see about the kitchen is still very visible. So I would recommend something like that. And then maybe changing this verbiage to be something more like less about you and more about the customer, and helping them to see the vision and to you know uh, kind of communicate that you're there to make that happen. And then the icons are really big. I think they don't need to be that big. They can be smaller because people are very used to this type of thing. So and the same with the hamburger menu. Um, there are a lot of options over here, but at least it's tucked out of the way. So that does make that when it's all crammed into the it makes the design not be able to breathe. So I think that's really good. Over here at the side, just because you do have so many of options, and that would really clutter up your design. So so that part's yeah, good. But again, I think you can make that piece smaller and make these smaller and all that. And then this could even be smaller. And then ultimately, you might have like this, where the bottom of this white element ends would be like where everything ends in the header portion. So and then you have all this extra real estate for your main messaging and visuals and that type of thing. So um, and then I do think it's good that you've put what you do um, here. I don't know that I would put that right against, like, over top of the imagery. And then why choose free homes? I like how you're answering those questions, like why you're relevant. And then I also like the quality process. I feel like that really helps people to understand what you're about. I think the biggest change I would make is adding more of um, the verbiage about becoming the trusted partner, and guiding them to the result. The trust indicators are there. That's great. Between the certifications and the testimonials. And yeah, so I think there's some redesign stuff that you could do to make things better. I also like that you show the area here. That's pretty good. But then when it comes over to a page like this, right? Now we're looking at a whole different thing, because the reality is not everybody's going to come through your homepage. Like, I didn't come to your site through the homepage. I came through the Randolph Mass page. Because that's what you ranked for, and so when it comes to this, there's virtually no communication about the becoming the trusted partner, and that should kind of reflect throughout your site, right? That type of thing is it positions you better, and depending on what page they land on, you need to set that same expectation, like you're going to be the trusted partner without saying it, like, hey, we're going to be your trusted guide, like just kind of like put it out there and position yourself in such a way where that's the obvious, like it feels natural, like you're oh yeah, this is I mean, in a sense, like, that's why I'm making this video, right? I'm showing you, like, what I know. I'm good at what I do, and it's easy to see that when I lay things out in the way I have. So so similarly, you want your page to any landing page where people are coming in to see that. And then one thing I would say, though, is you do have a lot more services than you actually outline here. And I think even just a section here that just showed like even just a small short banner, like maybe like this tall, with like 8 or 9 services, just an icon and siding, roofing, windows, and just right across. that's super easy, visually interesting because it has the icons, and it helps spice it up a bit. But yeah, I think like putting everything out there, but just taking up less space with it, because I don't think you really need to talk about each one specifically, because that's what the pages are for each one. So, but just giving the user a good idea of that stuff. And of course, well, on this it's a Randolph page, right? So you could follow kind of a similar, you know, I would almost make these pages more like what I'm talking about for your target homepage. Like maybe you show a project you did in Randolph, and then still customer centered communication, marketing communication, and then what you do across, and then back to case studies for down the street in Randolph. Hey, in your area, we did this, and maybe like a town over or something is fine too, and then they get a better experience on those pages. So I think that would also help. So it would help your SEO, even though you did come up on position 7. Yeah. If people stay on this page longer, although I've been on this page for quite a bit, but if people stay on the page longer and they have more to look at, more to interact with, like Google notices that stuff, as long as you have Google installed on your website. And then you would be able to, like, Google's able to see that, and so when they see somebody on the page longer and taking more actions on the website or on that landing page, it tells them that, hey, this that's in position 7, maybe we should put it in position 4 and 3 and test it out there for a little while and see how it does. And then the benefit to that, obviously, is you're going to be top, more top to the first page there, and then your customer is also going to get a better experience. So I think it's a win-win. You get the added SEO value, and then your customer gets a better understanding, and that sense of partnership with your company. So yeah, so I think this is something that's not just for the homepage. You can use it across the gamut of your website. And when it comes to stuff like citing, or your services pages, let's say. Also, that just redirected. It redirected from a non / to a /. You want to fix that, so it will include the / on the links. That slows your site down. And then you would want to kind of follow, which this does look different. I haven't went on this page yet, but yeah, you would want to make sure that you're customer centric on this page, but this is the page where you are going to talk more about your experience with citing, and that, they're going to have those elements, because when it's when it's the specific thing they want, you still want to tie it back to their vision, but you also want to put in a little bit more about yourself and your experience with that, and some projects that you've done, probably somewhere down at the bottom, maybe like 3 to 6 boxes with like projects you've done, and then that's another thing I would recommend is on your portfolio. Oh, very good. No, this is done well. Yeah, so this is what I was going to recommend. So a lot of times people will just put up galleries, and this is actually a post about a specific job. And you could also, I would also recommend putting, more pictures of the project, maybe down at the bottom or something. But yeah, no, this is exactly what you should do. You should have, for any project that's worthy of presenting, like it's big enough that you feel like it will go well on your page, then putting that in there and making a post about it. No, it's really good. So yeah, so you could also add that to the bottom of your services pages. So like on citing and stuff, you could tag them citing, and then have it pull the most recent 6 or 9 projects that you've done in that in that field, or that specialty. So you can check out my website and kind of get an understanding of what we do. So if you go down to the bottom here, we have strategy, which is our, a lot of times where we start. Now, don't keep in mind, I can we can start with some web design changes or wherever you need to go, but ultimately, it's good to keep this in mind. You want to start with strategy, and you want to build your branding off your strategy. You want to build your marketing off your strategy, and you want your marketing to include your branding. So, and then you want your web design to include your marketing and your branding, which is based on your strategy. So everything kind of flows out of strategy and goes from left to right here. So that's the methodology that we would mostly try to follow. Again, knowing that people need web design changes first, and there's things they need to fix out, of course. But all right, so you can reach me at 857-209-4495. You can text or call. You can set up a strategy session with me here, or you can email me at sales@blue-phoenix.net. And again, this is a free, just some free advice. But if you do find that you want to implement some of this stuff, and you want to start tackling some of these things, and maybe seeing where, how you can, get better results, and tracking that with your Google Analytics and stuff, and measurement is obviously a huge part of, knowing, uh, you know, knowing if it's working, right? So yeah. So if you want to do any of that, just feel free to reach out, and we can have a discussion, or I can answer any questions you might have. And yeah. So all right, I appreciate your time. Thank you.